Hey y'all, it's Cartoon Critics, and we're here to talk about Death of Captain America. This book right here. Okay, spoiler alert, Captain America dies. Well, kind of. Now, takes place right after Civil War of 2006, where Iron Man wanted everyone to register, and Cap said you can't make everyone register because he saw that as being a little fascist. And he's not too keen on fascism, despite what you may have read this year about him possibly being part of Hydra the whole time. I don't know where they're going to go with that, but to me, it seems more of a marketing ploy than anything else. So, Iron Man has become head of S.H.I.E.L.D. in this comic. His initiative of preserving the law with superhumans has gone so far that he is the head of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
Now, S.H.I.E.L.D. is involved in a lot of dirty things. Such as taking over a country, a Latveria, which Doom is from, because they put someone into power that turned out to be crazy and putting military weapons that were not registered, which was pretty much an entire allegory of Saddam Hussein, because we put him into power in Iraq.
Okay.
So the big baddie in this comic is Red Skull and Dr. Faustus. Dr. Faustus, he has the power to hypnotize people. And he's this fat guy with a beard that looks vaguely like Fat Galifianakis. And Red Skull, his mind is not in his actual body.
Okay.
Is in this Soviet businessman and pseudo-dictator named Lukin, who has a company called Kronos. Now, Kronos has oil reserves. So, the United States based a lot of their business with Kronos. Now, when this company starts saying they might fail, everyone starts flipping out. And this is also 2007, so people are wondering if the mortgage crisis is going to start, which happened in 2008. So Kronos, eventually, they put their own security guards in DC, so they don't decide to burn the White House of people there, because they're just flipping the hell out because no one's having jobs. Now, at the end of Civil War, Steve Rogers loses. He loses the conflict. They had destroyed a lot in New York, and he has himself be put in cuffs and be taken away, all right? On the way to the court steps in some city, he's being moved away by police officers and S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. A long-standing villain called Crossbones, who we've seen in Winter Soldier and Civil War movie, he shoots Steve while he's not ready, and he doesn't have a shield. That does not kill him, though. What does kill him is Sharon Carter, one of the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents that he's been a long-standing relationship with, is hypnotized by Red Skull, and she shoots him. But we find out later that she shot him with a time disturbance gun. A gun that kills his body, but takes his consciousness to another reality. Because they were wondering, oh, we gotta bring him back at some point. We're not gonna kill off one of the most well-known superheroes, period, that led anti-registration. And eventually they did bring him out when they found out he was going to get his own movie. Because that's a problem that we keep seeing with Marvel, is that they want to have everything coincide with what's going on in the movies. And they have to jury-rig a lot of continuity. Okay. Do you have any questions about the story? Anything I said?
So far, no.
Yeah, it's recording us. We're live now, I guess, technically. But no one else can watch us.
I'm eating popcorn.
Oh, you'll be fine. My cousin, he was eating nacho mix when we did a review of X-Men Apocalypse.
I have one question actually.
Yes.
This scene right here,
Is that all you're going to go over that?
where she finds out the truth.
Oh yeah, she finds out, Sharon Carter finds out she's pregnant with Steve's baby.
Who's?
Steve Rogers.
Captain America.
Yeah, so she's pregnant. She is kidnapped again by Dr. Faustus. And Dr. Faustus is also been controlling SHIELD agents, so they'll shoot some protesters in DC.
Okay.
Just open fire, so it looks like SHIELD is guilty of it. And really they're being controlled. Dr. Faustus is also partially responsible for the re-hypnotizing of Winter Soldier. He wants him to be back and on their side to fight and be a terrorist.
Wait. If she's pregnant, then why doesn't she show?
She just found out she's pregnant.
Well, usually when you find out you're pregnant, it's usually like 5 months along, and you start to show then.
Some people are different. Some women find out like 2 weeks after, they had sex. But my mother, she didn't find out until 6 months into it, but she didn't show. Mostly because she wasn't like petite. What's up?
Oh, is that heroin?
No, that's fire burned him. That is okay. There's been more than one Captain America, and this is extremely shown in this book because in this story, this is the one where Bucky becomes Captain America.
Oh.
Now before this, we had one black Captain America in the 90s, but of course that continuity was shifted, and we don't know if he was really there. It's really weird. Before that, we had a Captain America of the 50s that was a racist fascist
God, he's good.
who became part.
Wasn't he in the first Captain America movie?
But that Captain America? I don't think so. I doubt it.
I can't remember which Captain America's there. I know it's based in an older time. It's not more recent.
Oh, that's Steve Rogers. That's the original.
Okay.
Because that takes place in World War II. That one is just an asshole in the 50s that decides he wants to lynch all black people because he works with the KKK. And before that, in the late 40s, well, from 1945 to 1949, I guess, we had a fanboy Captain America who got plastic surgery to make himself look like Steve Rogers. And he was obsessed with Steve Rogers.
Fanboy.
I'm serious.
Fanboy.
Is he supposed to be saying off fuck here?
What?
Is he supposed to be saying off fuck here?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, a lot of T-rated comics, they just put in symbols, place the actual fuck you or shit or asshole. I was saying before, Red Skull put his mind into that communist guy with the cosmic cube, the one we saw in Avengers. Yeah, he had the cosmic. Well, Lucan had the cosmic cube, and their minds were pushed back. Now, Lucan is killed. His body is killed at the end of this book because, we gotta have a somewhat happy ending towards the end. We have Bucky Captain America, we have Sharon Carter, but she didn't have the baby. She suffered such an injury in her stomach from that.
She had a miscarriage?
I guess you could say that. I mean, she was severely hurt in her stomach, and yeah, the baby.
Stomach trauma.
Yeah, trauma. Falcon's in this. He doesn't serve much purpose to the story, but he has really good dialogue. And what else can you ask for? He does help Bucky make sure he's not dead. Bucky tries to kill Iron Man because he blames him for Captain America's death.
Isn't that why they make Civil War then?
Civil War took place before this. Civil War took place because in Stamford, Connecticut, these douchebag, somewhat villains had a reality show, and one of them got startled and exploded and killed 300 people, including 50 children outside of a schoolyard. And the government took action to say, either you register or you don't. And if you don't register, we're going to lock you up in a prison in space, in the negative zone.
I do want to say one thing. Deadpool's much better.
Deadpool than what?
Deadpool's better than Deadpool is almost as much like the same thing. I gotta say, Deadpool.
He didn't start off
funny
comedic.
though.
Really?
Yeah, he
Wasn't he a really serious person
Yeah, he had
when he
no
was at first?
emotion other than anger.
Well, that's because he wanted.
He was made by Rob Liefeld, who actually shows up in the movie. You just see some ginger hair, and that's Rob Liefeld. What were you saying?
Key-looking thing.
Key-looking thing?
Yeah, when she found out she lost her child.
Oh, was it like a thumb drive?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was information to put
this
away Dr. Faustus.
This thing right here.
For all the viewers out there, I'm right next to Eric, only like off screen.
Yeah,
It's sunny out there. I don't like it. It burns.
Alright.
It's still somewhat sunny.
I'm trying to think of anything else I may have forgotten. So, we do see the fanboy cap in this, because he's being controlled by Dr. Faustus.
Okay.
For a while, Marvel just acted like that didn't happen. Like that was Steve Rogers. He was like, "Oh, you didn't read it? Oh, don't worry, that was him the whole time."
Kind of a cover up.
Like,
Yeah.
but wait, it wasn't, because you said he was frozen for several years. He was waken up by the Avengers in the '60s, not in 2000, because they want to keep updating the time slot to now. So now Marvel's saying, "Oh, every 1 year, every 5 years we have is like 1 year." Because how can Spider-Man have a villain that is in his 30s and went over the Berlin Wall when it was still up? He saw 9/11 happen.
There's no way.
Yeah. And he shook hands with President Barack Obama.
There's
And he's
no
under 30.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way.
Where's
that's
the math?
possible.
Well, maybe it's a time displacement character.
And there's a few characters that they actually explain, why they can stay the same age. Like White Nick Fury. Yeah, Black Nick Fury is his son.
Kidding. Are you serious or are you kidding?
I'm serious. He has Black Nick Fury is mulatto.
Okay.
Because the first Black Nick Fury we saw was in the Ultimates universe, and they intentionally made him look like Samuel Jackson back in 2000 whatever.
Because they wanted him to actually play
Yes,
in the movies.
and he actually does in first time in 2008. He has the end credit scene in Iron Man, and they're like, "Oh wait, let's jury rig him into this universe instead of just taking this character from this universe and just plopping him there." They're like, "Let's make a reason that he
Why
can be."
is he there?
Yes, so let's have Nick Fury. Let's retcon that he had sex with a black woman and had this child that looks very much like fully he's black, but it technically isn't.
Okay.
Matter of fact, Black Nick Fury does go back in the past and talks with Nick Fury before he really became an agent and started working in space. Don't ask.
Okay then.
Bucky also worked in space with him to fight off aliens in outer space. But they worked together to make sure Hate Monger, who is a clone of Hitler,
Okay then.
doesn't kill Barack Obama as a baby back in the late 60s.
Okay.
Because he said, "I'm going to make America great again by making sure there's never a black president."
Well then.
That was written last year.
So that storyline's all fucked up though. That's all I gotta say. That storyline's all fucked up.
But this story is actually very solid. It has, even though it incorporates some weird retcons, the character emotions and the dialogue is really well done.
Okay.
A lot of people consider this one of the best Captain America stories. Ironic because he dies in like the
Yeah,
first
that is kinda
30
ironic.
pages of the book.
That is kind of ironic.
But yeah, the first 30 minutes of the 30 minutes, pages of the book
The first
are just Sharon Carter explaining what happened beforehand.
Okay.
And he has this feel of we shouldn't have to register, and I should just be able to kick any villain's ass I want without signing a release form, a permission slip from a senator. I don't need that. Speaking of senators, we have Senator Wright in this book, who is a puppet of controlled Lucan with the mind of Red Skull to make the third party to try to appeal and become president. He's like, oh, if he becomes president, I can move my initiative of making the United States fascist.
Okay.
And he uses the fanboy cap to protect him and act like he's going to attack him. So it looks like regular Captain America, or Steve Rogers. Like people are like, oh, he died, but maybe he's back. This happens all the time. It wouldn't be a comic book if someone didn't come back to life.
True.
But they're like, oh, he tried to attack the senator, just trying to become president, and actually doing well in the polls. He's going against America. That wasn't him. That was mind-controlled, different Cap, fanboy Cap. And
basically, it's just like a ultimate film cover kind of thing.
yes, as a matter of fact, Dr. Faustus, after this, he does go to court. And he uses his mind control to control the lawyer he has and the judge.
Oh, damn.
And he's helped broken out of that whole situation back on his feet by the neo-Nazi Cap from the 50s, because he's time displaced as well.
Okay.
Interesting.
Did I confuse y'all?
No.
Because I confused myself. I had to reread part of this on a Wikipedia article just so I know what was happening.
Alright then.
But yeah, really good story. Bucky feels three-dimensional in this book. Aftermaths of different events appear in this. Like, you see the Invaders, which were a World War II group that was actually written back in World War II,
Okay.
in our time.
Yeah.
It had the original Human Torch, who was a robot. It had Namor the Submariner, and Cap, and they're all working together. Bucky was part of it. They established that Bucky was doing the dirty work that no one else wanted to do. He was like saving Jews from death camps and slitting throats of Nazis everywhere.
Okay then.
We incorporated the Young Avengers in this because they had their own event going on called Children's Crusade, which includes Kate Bishop, who is a younger female successor of Hawkeye. We have a new Vision. We have Hulkling, who is a Skrull,
Okay.
the alien race.
Okay.
We have the Patriot. You can see how these are all like junior versions of
Yeah.
the main Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably the most ridiculous one is, what was it? Iron Lad. We have Wiccan, but Iron Lad
Oh,
is
yeah.
ridiculous. Not because of his name necessarily, but because he's actually a supervillain.
Is he really?
Yes, he is a supervillain he is a time displaced. This is one version of him. There's another version of him from the future that has been a long-standing villain for like 30 years.
Okay then.
Yeah, ridiculous terrorist that fights with the Fantastic Four. And they're like, oh, we can change him. We can make sure that this young version doesn't become him, but he does.
Oh my god. I've heard that I can change your story 1,000 times. It doesn't work.
So you got any questions?
No.
Alright.
Why is the sun so hot?
Why is this one?
I don't know. Probably because it's one of the biggest stars in our solar system. Any nearby solar system. I mean, there are bigger suns than ours, but matter of fact, our sun is about a 12th of the size of a typical star sun, and that's just mind-blowing for me because I'm like, the sun's already big enough, right?
True.
All right. So, any closing? Jesus Christ! Any closing statements?
I don't.
Do you have any questions about all that continuity bomb I dropped on you?
Nah.
Like, I didn't even mention some of the weirder shit in comics, like how
best.
Spider-Man erased his marriage by making a deal with a character that's basically Satan.
Fuck? Nope, I'm not gonna ask.
Alright. He also had the Phoenix Force.
Not gonna ask.
He become a Hulk.
Not gonna ask.
Alright, Power of the Krypton Critics, you know we love you. And this is Lena. She has her own channel. I'll make sure that you will have a contact to see her channel as well.